What would the economy look like under an apparent Marcos presidency? Joining us now on The Final Word is Foundation for Economic Freedom President Calixto Chikiamco. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. All right, we have the first cabinet appointee in Sara Duterte as the Education Secretary, who would likely make up Bongbong Marcos's economic team.
I have no idea whom he will pick, no? I guess it will be a combination of new and old faces.
Basically, we've seen in a lot of business columns and business magazines, three familiar names, but they are all high-profile investment bankers. Do you think that they would fit the bill as finance secretary in an economic team of Bongbong Marcos?
Well, I don't know these people personally, but certainly you need not just financial skills, especially in the position of Secretary of Finance. You also need political skills because you need to sell to the people, for example, increase taxes. You need political skills in order to make sure that the tax legislation you want gets passed by Congress.
This early, Mr. Chikiamco, Mr. Marcos is already being urged to lay out his full plan to address the still struggling economy because he gave little or no details about his policy direction during the campaign trail. What do you think will be the specifics of his economic strategy to help our kababayans?
Well, again, I have no special insight as to what are those details, but I believe that President Bongbong Marcos will continue the policies set by President Duterte. He will build on what President Duterte will leave him in terms of the economic foundation and then build on that.
Yeah, because you cannot have motherhood type of statements and policies to tackle rising poverty. Also to strengthen the healthcare because we're still in a pandemic, Mr. Chikiamco, and you have to deal with inflation and manage the humongous debt that we are in right now, close to 13 trillion pesos. These are serious issues that the former senator has to address.
I agree. In addition to that, there's the problem of energy security. We have a very thin reserves, and therefore a breakdown of a power plant could bring back brownouts. No, so at the same time, there's a global food and fertilizer shortage will impact our food security. So those are urgent concerns. I agree.
And of course, if this is not handled properly by the economic team, there's also a risk of a valuation derating from the international rating agencies. And this will not be good for the Philippines because it will make investors think twice about investing in that country, and it will basically put more risk on our debt.
I agree, but at the same time, I have reasons to be optimistic. One of them is reasons is that President Duterte is leaving behind a solid economic foundation that to him. I refer to BBB, the lifting of the mining permit ban, the tax cuts under CREATE, and the three liberalization bills. The retail liberalization law, the Public Service Act Amendment, and the Foreign Investment Act Amendment. I think that especially those three liberalization laws will lead to huge interest among foreign investors to come in. So even if he does not pass any new legislation at this point, under those laws, if the IRRs are crafted correctly, there will be a huge surge in foreign direct investment.
But there are also concerns, Mr. Chikiamco, among investors that his election will fuel corruption, nepotism, and poor governance. What do you think?
Well, I don't know about that. I don't want to speculate, but I'm saying is that corruption is nothing new. It has been there for ever since the republic was established. So the more important thing, rather than focus on corruption, is whether structural reforms are being undertaken. So that is what President Bongbong Marcos will have to, address if he can build on the reforms that President Duterte will leave behind.
So from what you've seen and heard, Mr. Chikiamco, how involved do you think will Mr. Marcos be in economic policy strategy?
Well, I think, again, I have no basis to speculate, but, his father had a very strong cabinet at that time. You have Jerry Sicat, Cesar Virata, you have Blas Ople, so he had a very competent cabinet. So I guess that is something that perhaps he can learn from his father, and also establish a very professional and highly skilled cabinet in his economic team.
You named some very familiar names during the administration of the late dictator, Sicat, Virata, and Ople. Who do you think will fit the bill of a Sicat, Virata, Ople team in the Bongbong Marcos administration?
Well, I don't know at this point. I have no idea who that one who is a combination of all of these traits.
You were offered to join the government in both the Ramos government and the Joseph Estrada administration, but you turned it down. If offered a position in his economic team, Mr. Chikiamco, will you accept? This is the third time. You don't want to go on a third strike.
I don't know if I have the stomach to, take on a public service job.
Okay, let's take a look at the Senate, no? As my last question for you. You have the likes of Robin Padilla, Mon Tulfo, Mig Zubiri, Alan Peter Cayetano, Manny Villar winning senatorial seats, together with the likes of the 2019 winners, Bato de la Rosa, Bongo, and Amy Marcos. How can they help the new administration in terms of economic reforms and creating new jobs?
Again, I guess they have to take the lead from the economic managers. So it's the economic managers that will set the direction in the kind of reforms that the incoming administration has to do. So I think that's what more or less what they will do. They need to be able to work quickly to pass much needed legislation, especially to address the problems in what I said were on agriculture, on energy security, and also even on the health security, given the fact that the pandemic's not yet over.
A lot of serious issues that the new government has to face. Thank you so much for joining us, Foundation for Economic Freedom President Calixto Chikiamco.